Welcome to the channel, guys. This is Let's Talk Video Games. What will this channel be about? I don't know yet, but I am throwing a lot of ideas out there, seeing what sticks, and I hope you guys enjoy it. About 25 years I've been playing video games, as long as I can remember. I have a lot to say about them, so I decided to make a YouTube channel. Let's Talk Video Games. I hope you guys enjoy all the content. It's a lot of stuff that I'm very passionate about. I do hope you guys enjoy it, subscribe, and just keep checking back in on the channel to see how we do here. My PlayStation 3 digital collection, I wanted to upload it because a lot of people don't really upload their PlayStation 3 and 360 digital collections nowadays, with the stores mostly being gone or not really working with the 360. So I wanted to share that with all you guys. If you guys want to share your digital PlayStation 3 collection or 360 collection, you know, it is YouTube, so anyone could share whatever they want. We do have 267 games, 155 of those are actual PSN titles, 65 PS1 titles, 27 PlayStation 2, 2 Neo Geo, and 18 PlayStation Minis. I just wanted to share my digital PlayStation 3 collection with you guys, so let's get into it. We are here to see my digital PlayStation 3 collection. I have accumulated a lot of games over the years for my PlayStation 3, and I did buy a lot of these back when the PlayStation Store was supposedly gonna shut down. So just so you guys know, if you guys want to download any of these games on the PlayStation Store, don't even try. It will take you forever to even purchase the game. You have to add the money through the PlayStation 5 and then go into the PlayStation 3 store and buy the games, and then they take forever to download it. You guys don't know how good we have it nowadays with the PlayStation 5 and the download speeds, but the PlayStation 3, holy cow, was it terrible. The Neo Geo games are the King of Fighters 94 and 95. The King of Fighters games play such a huge role in my history with video games, and going back to the PlayStation 1, my brother did own these physically. I remember playing these games all the time back then, and Metal Slug, it was just a good time. The music, the fighting, the art style, I just wish they would go back to this art style for King of Fighters. It would be amazing if they could. Obviously they're making probably more money by just doing it with the 3D. We're going into the PlayStation 1 titles. Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. I haven't really played this one. Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is the third Crash Bandicoot game. I have played the Insane Trilogy, and I really enjoyed those remakes for those games. CTR Crash Team Racing, the best kart racer on the market. That's all I'll say on that. Dino Crisis, Capcom, please bring back Dino Crisis. We don't care about Exoprimal, just bring back Dino Crisis. I would kill for a new Dino Crisis. Gex Enter the Gecko, which is a platformer that has a lot of witty humor. I haven't played too much of those. Like I said, I have accumulated all these digital games over the years. I've bought in so many PlayStation classics. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, which did just receive a remaster for Soul Reaver 1 and 2 on PlayStation 5, which is awesome. I love it when some of these old games get a breath of fresh air, as you would say, injected back into their veins. Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, Resident Evil Director's Cut. I have never completed myself because the original trilogy is just insane. You have to find the blue ribbons to save the game. I'm not even gonna bother with that. I did watch my brother play these a lot when I was younger. I do love the Resident Evil franchise. I do love what they're doing with the remakes. Crash Bandicoot is a classic of a game. Naughty Dog's first hit, a game that put them on the map for Sony. Dino Crisis 2 is better than Dino Crisis 1, I think, and is a classic. I love Dino Crisis. I just wish Capcom would go back to this series. They are now available through GOG. They're on PlayStation Network on PS5. Disney's Pixar: A Bug's Life. I did play this on the Nintendo 64, but I did end up buying the PlayStation 1 version digitally. If it's anything like the Nintendo 64 version, I did enjoy that quite a bit. Monsters Inc. Scream Team, the best version of Monsters Inc. There's a PlayStation 2 version, a bit different from this one, but I do remember playing this one on a demo disc and loving it. Jet Moto 2. I haven't played too much of the Jet Moto games. I know everyone considers them classics. I do enjoy my racing games. Metal Gear Solid. What else is there to say about Metal Gear Solid? We obviously have these remastered on newer hardware now. So Metal Gear Solid, the characters, the story, Kojima just always knows how to knock it out of the park with his characters and his weirdness. Tomb Raider. I'm not a huge fan of the old Tomb Raider games, but I definitely do enjoy that trilogy that started on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 with that 2012 Tomb Raider reboot. Tomb Raider 2, they're fine games. Gameplay is quite weird for the time, obviously, since we didn't have analog sticks back then. Not too big into those old ones, they're a bit clunky. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, again, haven't played too much of these myself. I have seen a lot of gameplay for them and seen my brother play through them, or not exactly through all of them, but the remakes I definitely do enjoy. That remake for Resident Evil 2 is amazing. Maybe one day I will play all the way through it. I don't see it happening, guys. They look way too frustrating. Resident Evil 2. Again, let me know if you guys want to see any gameplay on these games, or if you guys want to see my take on any of these games. Wild Arms. Mega Man Legends. I played this on the Nintendo 64 and did enjoy it quite a bit. I did like what direction they were taking with the Mega Man franchise. We never got Mega Man Legends 3, or I forget what they were gonna call the third one, but I remember there was leaks about how there was a third one in development that never came to be. Tomb Raider 3 Adventures of Lara Croft. Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, which I've heard isn't the best one. 3 and 4 aren't considered that great. Mega Man Legends 2. I have not played any of this game because I never finished the original Mega Man Legends. The Misadventures of Tron Bonne is a very expensive game from the last time I remember looking online on eBay. It's just nice to have it here available to play, but I do tend to play these games through emulation more often than on here. Darkstalkers is a classic 2D fighting series, which a lot of people love. I'm not too big into it because it is a bit more complicated than what the fighters I like. Strider 2, we're getting that new Strider game, looks insane. This I have not played too much of as well. I buy a lot of these games and I never really get to them. The story of the life of a gamer when we play all these games, right? The King of Fighters 99 was my favorite King of Fighters game, and I love the King of Fighters 99. Crash Bandicoot 2, the best Crash, Cortex Strikes Back. I did play a lot as a kid and did establish a love for platformers when I was younger. Castlevania Chronicles. I'm a huge fan of the Castlevania Lords of Shadow, just the first one, not the second one. I have not played all the way through that one. Silent Hill. Can we get a Silent Hill 1 remake? We jump straight to 2 and we should get Silent Hill 1 remake. Don't you guys agree? Silent Hill 1, I need to go back to this as well. I played a bit of it, didn't really complete it. Tomba and Tomba 2. Some games that are considered to be some of the greatest games of all time, guys. Tomba is a series I've never really gotten into. It has its own dedicated little fan base with that remake or remaster that we got this past year. Mobile Light Force, Gex Deep Cover Gecko, Disney's Lilo and Stitch. The old Disney games on the PlayStation 1 were so awesome. Legend of Dragoon, an RPG I've never tried to hear great things about. Klonoa Door to Phantom Mill. We have gotten a more recent port of this or remaster. Parasite Eve. They should bring back Parasite Eve alongside with Dino Crisis. These are some of the only games left for them to remake. Parasite Eve 2. Heard great things about. We do have the third birthday on PSP. Maybe we'll see a collection of all 3 games eventually. Disney's The Little Mermaid 2, very good tie-in games. Pac-Man World 20th anniversary. That first Pac-Man World game is amazing. I love it. We did get a remake for that. Gex, this is the original. Shadow Tower. is a horror game that I've never tried. Here we have a couple of Japanese titles that were released on the PlayStation Store for PS3 on PSN. I don't remember the names of these, but as you guys can see the covers there, I'll let you guys look these up if you want to. They're really awesome. Wolf Fang Fist. No way, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like Yamcha's move. These games are really awesome. I would really recommend you guys look into these games. Bloody Roar is a 3D fighting game that has a couple entries on the PlayStation 1. Bloody Roar 2, there's some on the PlayStation 2. I remember always seeing these games at stores and I always wanted to buy them physically. And we got Cool Borders. It's back when Sony made sports exclusives, if you don't count MLB The Show, because, well, now it's on everything. Cool Borders 2, Cool Borders 3. I tried these a bit, not a huge fan. Then again, I'm not a huge fan of sports games in general. Twisted Metal 2, awesome game. Love Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 1's awesome, but I would really recommend you guys play Twisted Metal 2. This is available on PlayStation 5. I think if you own it through PlayStation 1, you get it for free on PlayStation 5. I'm not sure on that one, but you guys can look into it. Another Japanese title here. All these Japanese titles are awesome. Spyro Year of the Dragon. This is the third installment in the Spyro series for PlayStation 1. Spyro, an awesome trilogy on the PlayStation 1. N2O Nitrous Oxide. Destrega, I did try this one for a bit. I thought it was quite enjoyable. The only thing is sometimes when you would jump, I would fall to my death way too much because it is a PS1 game. The movement wasn't realistic. Alundra 1. It's super cheap to buy it physically. It's around 15 bucks or so. Rayman 2, The Great Escape. I've never really been into Rayman. I've only really played the more recent Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. Disney Pixar Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. This game is pretty cool. All the Toy Story games are actually pretty good. The Toy Story 3 as well. Then we got Lucifer's Ring, which is a Japanese title. This game is freaking dope. The Fireman 2. Again, if you guys want to see gameplay on these, or just let me know in the comments and I might make a separate video on PlayStation 1 games on PSN, PS3, maybe even PS5. Then we got Tekken and Tekken 2, which Tekken, if you don't know what Tekken is a very big fighting franchise, and Tekken 1 and 2 are very awesome games. You remember playing those back on the PlayStation 1 when I was a kid. Really fun times. And that was the PlayStation 1 games for PSN. PlayStation 2. I love the PlayStation 2. Some people don't love it. First game we got here is Capcom vs SNK Mark of the Millennium, which is an awesome fighting game. I love Capcom vs SNK. Radius 5, which is a shmup. One of my favorite movie tie-in games. We did get a lot back then during the PlayStation 2 generation and the beginning of the PlayStation 3 generation. SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. I love the movie and I love the game. God Hand, a very unique fighting game on the PlayStation 2. Alter Echo. Castle Shikigami 2 has the most terrible voice acting in any game I've ever seen, but it's very fun to listen to, and it's a shoot 'em up, so it's very fun. Winback Covert Operations. I do remember playing a Winback game on the Nintendo 64. I'm guessing it's not this one because this one came out on PlayStation 2. I remember enjoying it a lot. It reminded me a lot of Metal Gear Solid. Shinobi for PlayStation 2. This game I do remember playing a lot back when I first got my PlayStation 2. I bought this for around $10 somewhere, or maybe I got it with the console. I remember it was just hard as nails. This game is freaking hard. If you guys ever want to play a very hard game, play Shinobi. It's almost like very unfair gameplay wise. Maximo Ghost to Glory. There's 2 Maximo games on the PlayStation 2, but we only got this one on PSN. Maximo Ghost to Glory has a very special place in my heart. That was one of the first games I ever saw for PlayStation 2 when I was younger. Tulip, which is a very unique game for the PlayStation 2. I think it's going up in price recently. Everything's going up in price these days. Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain. The game that was ported to PlayStation 2 from PSP. I remember it coming out on PSP and then went to PS2. The Red Star, which I have not played, but I love that cover art. I've always wanted to play it just because of that cover art, but I've never actually gotten to it. Castlevania Lament of Innocence. I did play this one a lot. This was one of the first titles that me and my brother picked, or that he bought, and I actually played back when we got the PlayStation 2. We have here 2 Contra Shattered Soldier, which has bad reviews, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. I just tried it a couple of weeks ago, and Neo Contra, I would always see these at GameStop or Game Crazy. If you guys remember Game Crazy from back in the day, it's combined with Hollywood Video, and those were the days, right? Blockbuster and everything, renting movies and games. I would see these games on the shelves and I would always want to pick them up. They were like $50. So back then I had no money, so what was I gonna do? So I never really got to play them. Fatal Frame, which is a survival horror series. I think these games do go for a lot on PlayStation 2. All the survival horror games on PlayStation 2 have skyrocketed in price. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. I'm hoping to one day get to them, because I'm hoping to one day get to every single game I want to play, but we'll see if that ever happens. Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented. Rough Trigger, The Vanacore Conspiracy. This game is terrible. I think this was one of the last games released for the PlayStation 2 besides the sports games. Rygar, The Legendary Adventure. I panic bought these games when I thought PlayStation Network was gonna go down. Capcom Fighting Evolution, another fighting game. I love the Capcom fighting games. Blowout, which I thought would be a first-person shooter, but is actually kind of over the head third person. And we got a very unique game called Trapped. This game is weird. That's the only way I can describe it. I can't really describe it in detail. Blood Rain, which I need to get back to because I did enjoy these games back on the PlayStation 2. Crimson Sea 2. Still haven't played this. You guys might see a pattern here. I don't play all the games that I buy. When we get to my PlayStation 5 and Steam libraries, a lot of those games I have not played. Midnight Club is the final PlayStation 2 title here. And the Midnight Club series is basically gone now, with Rockstar mainly focusing on GTA and Red Dead. We really won't get any of those side games anymore. Then we got PlayStation Minis. If you guys don't know what those are, they were basically mini games for the PlayStation Portable that then were ported to PSN. Carnivore's Ice Age. I do remember playing this one a lot with my nephews. You basically just hunt prehistoric animals. I Must Run. This is an endless runner, which we did get a lot back during these years because of the iPhone Nova. The Nova games are pretty dope. They were a copy of Halo, basically, or Crisis, I would say, on phones. One Epic Game, Another Endless Runner. This one I would say is actually a bit better than I Must Run, but this one was quite popular back in the day. The Impossible game, I remember being in high school with people that were sitting next to me playing this game all the time, and man, that takes me back. Almost 30. Alien Zombie Death. There was like a remaster, sort of better looking version of this PlayStation Network. This one was also very fun. Carnivore's Dinosaur Hunter. Again, the same as the other Carnivores game, but in this one you hunt dinosaurs. Mad Blocker Alpha, which I don't remember playing much of, but what I did play, I did enjoy. Zombie Racers. These games were just very small, bite-sized games that you could just pick up and play. It was kind of weird to pick up and play games on a PS3 when you have to turn on the console, and then it takes a couple minutes to turn on, and you know what I mean. A space shooter for $2, a game that came out for $2, so that's what they named the game and priced it. This one was pretty cool. I did play this one a bit. Angry Birds. If you guys don't know what Angry Birds is, where have you been? Did you guys hate Angry Birds when it came out? I kind of did, but eventually it kind of grew on me. Angry Birds, if you guys don't know what it is, look it up. Arcade, air hockey, and bowling. I don't know why I have this. Sometimes we'd get these games for free with PlayStation Plus. OMGZ. Shout out to my nephew for purchasing this with my sister's credit card. I have it forever. And we got Farm Frenzy 2. I never got into the Farm Frenzy games or any of those Facebook type games. Orbit, this game is awesome. I remember playing this a lot back on my PS Vita and PSP. Hungry Giraffe, also one of my favorites. Kaleidoscope, I don't remember this at all. Then we got Cannibal, the final mini. This one's a lot like I Must Run. It's an endless runner that was quite fun back in the day. That is all of the PlayStation minis. The next section is actually quite larger, and that is because it is 155 titles, as you guys can see. Let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Again, I spent a lot of money on these. Don't even remember why. The first game we have here for the PlayStation Network PSN games is Back to the Future Episode 1. It's About Time. One of Telltale's first series that they actually did a whole season on. I think they did actually remaster this later on and made it better, but I remember a lot of people hating on this one and the Jurassic Park games. Jurassic Park the game, Episode 1, The Intruder. They released these episodically. No one does that now, right? I really did enjoy the Jurassic Park the game. Recently I did go back and play a little bit, and it's a bit rough around the edges. Bomberman Ultra, one of my favorite Bomberman games on PSN, and also I'm pretty sure was on Xbox 360. A lot of these titles were, but if you guys have never played Bomberman, go and play it. Bomberman is one of the best party games ever. Cloudberry Kingdom, another very fun game where basically it's not an endless runner, sometimes it isn't, but you could basically play 2 players. I'll show the game later on so you guys can see what it's all about. Crazy Taxi. You guys have not played Crazy Taxi. There is, I'm guessing, a remake coming soon, maybe in the next couple years here, with Sega remaking a lot of their older titles. Final Exam. I don't remember too much about this one. I just remember that I really wanted to play it, so I bought it. I never played it, so maybe one day, right? Matt Hazard, Bloodbath and Beyond. I have a huge history with Matt Hazard, Bloodbath and Beyond. Look at this art, man. By the way, don't you guys miss this? The PlayStation 3, they had these back cover arts for each game and sounds as well. Back to the Future Episode 2 and 3. Again, these were just continued from the first episode. Episode 4 and Episode 5, I still have not played these, but I do enjoy the Back to the Future movies. Those are classics. I love them. Episode 2, The Cavalry of Jurassic Park. Love Jurassic Park up to Jurassic World, I would say, the movies. After that, I really don't enjoy the movies after that. That's why I enjoyed this game so much. This one did not have good reviews. Good luck trying to get that Xbox 360 physical edition of it. It's quite rare and actually goes for a lot now. NBA Jam on Fire Edition. NBA Jam is a great time with people. With my nephews, I'm always playing NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, as we will get into here soon. Episode 4, The Survivors of Jurassic Park the game. Again, a lot of these games I downloaded at different times. That's why they're kind of out of order. Urban Trial Freestyle, which is J Trials copycat. NFL Blitz. If you guys have never played NFL Blitz, you guys need to play this, man. I wish they would bring these games back to modern hardware like the PlayStation 5 or bring it to PC, man. That would be awesome. Imagine playing NFL Blitz on your Steam Deck. That'd be just amazing. Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. This game is amazing to look at. Resogun. I haven't played it all too much. The time that I did play it, it was very fun. RIPD the game. One of the worst games of all time, if not the worst game of all time. Like a horde mode for RIPD, which if you guys have not even heard of that movie, why? Under Defeat HD Deluxe. I love that art style, and the game's a shoot 'em up, which is very fun. Dead Block, which is a huge hit with my family. Apparently, every time we play it, I hate this game. Dead Block. I don't know how to describe it. I just hate playing it. Burger Time World Tour. If you don't know what Burger Time is, this is basically a remake of the other Burger Time game. Zombie Apocalypse, sort of a copycat of Dead Nation, I would say, but Dead Nation is much better. The second Zombie Apocalypse game is better than this, but this one, it's mid. Thomas Was Alone, a puzzle 2D. I don't know much about it, but always scroll past it on my Steam library everywhere. Basically, I've never really played it. Heavy Fire Afghanistan, first person shooter on rails game that I think you could play with the PlayStation Move. Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, a port of the PlayStation Vita Assassin's Creed exclusive game that we did have for a certain amount of time. It's the worst Assassin's Creed, honestly. I would not really recommend playing it, but if you want to play all of them, it's decent. It's not terrible. Alien Rage, a first-person shooter that's kind of bland when it comes to the art style. Bentley's Hack Pack, a sort of expansion to, I forget what Sly game, but this was sort of like a little expansion game for one of the Sly games, so I don't remember which one. Maybe the newer one, or the newest one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. Before we got the remake of Pro Skater 1 and 2, we had Pro Skater HD, what people hated. Cell Damage HD, an HD remaster of the Xbox game. Sonic Adventure, love Sonic Adventure. I remember playing that on the Dreamcast, and I can't believe I had a Dreamcast. That feels like forever ago, guys. Maybe one day we'll get a Dreamcast again, make a video on it, we'll see. Hard Corps Uprising, one of the best looking games ever made, and it's also hard as nails. I Am Alive, I enjoy this game very much. It got terrible reviews, a Ubisoft game. Then we got Mamorukin Curse. Never played this, but it looks interesting for sure. Then we got Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection, which comes with Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, I think. Obviously, these are the three first Mortal Kombat games. Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate HD, that's a mouthful. This is the 3DS game that was ported to consoles. Doesn't have the best reviews. Some people do enjoy it, others hate it. Night into Dreams, I did try this. I thought it was terrible. I don't know if you guys enjoy it, but the gameplay was like super wonky. I could not figure out what to do. Castlevania Harmony of Despair, a very weird Castlevania game. King Oddball Knockoff, Angry Birds Copycat. I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. Fairy Legends of Avalon, a very, I don't know, type of game. I'm wondering why this game exists. It's very terrible. Unless it's enjoyed by anyone. I've never heard anyone talk about it. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. This is a great first-person shooter. Very stylistic first-person shooter as well. Love the art style. Mars Warlogs. I haven't played too much of. I did enjoy what I was playing. It sort of seemed like it had like a Batman Arkham combat system, but lower budget. Maybe even lower budget than the Mad Max game. Double Dragon Neon. Another one of the best looking games of all time. I love the art style in this game. I did play this a lot on the Nintendo Switch OLED back when I did have the physical copy of this, but I haven't really played it on PlayStation 3 at all. I just bought it back when it came out, I think. The House of the Dead 3. Man, I love the House of the Dead 3. I wish we would get more of these games. There was a remake for the House of the Dead. I still need to play that, but it would be awesome if they would remake the House of the Dead 3 or 4, or bring them forward. House of the Dead 4, the newer House of the Dead game, does not have the best scores when it comes to critically. Trash Panic, this was one of the first PlayStation Network games that I did play back when they had demos. I would download them back in 2011 when we first got internet. Dead Space Extraction, this was a game that was released on the Wii that was remastered for PlayStation 3 with the PlayStation Move. This game was quite good. Infamous Festival of Blood, a side game to Infamous 2, so sort of like an expansion game for that one where you play as Cole and you do become a vampire. But I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. These next two games also did release on the Wii and then were remastered for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Move. Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles. This one I don't enjoy as much as the other one, but I do think it's still a pretty good game. Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles. You play as Leon in this one. Goes over what happens with Krauser during Resident Evil 2. Superstars V8 Racing, your budget Gran Turismo or Forza game. I played a bit of it, it wasn't too bad. Medal of Honor Frontline, one of the best Medal of Honor games. Very hard though. I tried to play it, but it was just glitching out on me. It was not working. But Medal of Honor Frontline, if you guys have ever played Medal of Honor, let me know what your favorite Medal of Honor game is. Mine is probably Frontline. I still need to try Rising Sun, but maybe one day. Also, I do enjoy that 2010 PS3 title. I've got One Piece, Pirate Warriors. Not a huge fan of One Piece. I don't have the time to watch the entire show. So Jetpack Joyride, this was a huge hit back when it came out. I remember playing this all the time on my PlayStation Vita in class. Then we got Amy, considered to be one of the worst games of all time. A survival horror Silent Hill type of combat, but way worse. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, an 80s style type of Far Cry game with neon lights. Limbo, one of the original digital games that was exclusive to Xbox 360 at first, but then did come to PlayStation 3 digitally. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. I haven't played too much of this one, but it's basically just a puzzle fighter for Street Fighter. Killzone. This one I thought I actually did own digitally, but I guess it's because I used to have the Killzone trilogy that did come with it on the disc. The original Killzone I do enjoy a lot. I think it's a very good first-person shooter. But definitely 2 and 3 are better. But if you guys haven't played Killzone, I would definitely recommend you guys play Killzone. Serious Sam 3 BFE. I've never played these games. I bought the collection for PC, but I still have not got to these games. Naughty Bear Panic in Paradise. This game, you play as a bear that murders other bears. And you get points for murdering them, or you could actually take their skin and wear it. It's so weird. This is such a weird game. I can't believe this game was released back then. Naughty Bear Gold Edition. This was part of that. I got the code for that through that. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD, a remaster of the Oddworld game on Xbox, which has very weird gameplay. Enemy Front Digital. I think this game was made by Crytek, the people behind Crysis, and I thought this game was decent. I played a bit of it. I think I do own it on PC, so I might end up playing it on there instead. But I remember that game got a lot of hate when it came out. Then we got Rock of Ages. I think they do have 3 Rock of Ages games now. You build your defenses and then you gotta destroy your enemy's gate and then kill them. You roll a ball. It's very hard to explain. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. This game is such a throwback to Sony, basically how they used to be during the PlayStation 3 generation. You would never see a game like this nowadays with PlayStation characters. Obviously this game didn't do great because they chose such weird characters. Like, why is Big Daddy a character in PlayStation All-Stars? And like, why isn't Crash in here? Why isn't Spyro in here? A lot of missing characters and a lot of weird takes, like the DMC Devil May Cry. We got Self Actor Psychokinetic Wars. This was one of the first PlayStation Network games that I did play, and it's sort of like an Unreal Tournament first-person shooter where you switch guns. Castle Crashers. I don't have the best things to say about Castle Crashers. I hate this game. But my family does love this game because we would play this a lot. They would play it a lot more than me, but I'm not a huge fan. I would get so annoyed by the music. and the characters, and I was just like, oh my gosh, are we playing this again? Please stop. Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of Mystera. This game is pretty cool. It's sort of, what do you call these games? Your Streets of Rage type of games. Then we got Alien Breed Impact, which if you guys have not played the Alien Breed games, these are available through Steam as well. So they're available. This is actually the original one on the Amiga, I think, on the Commodore Amiga. We got Raiden 4 Overkill, which is a very fun game and a very good looking game. Alien Breed 2 Assault. This was sort of a remake of the Alien Breed games on newer hardware, and they did release them weekly, digitally 1, 2, and 3 here, as you see with Descent. I actually played through these this past year, and I thought they were pretty good. They just did get a little repetitive. We got Zombie Driver HD, which was very fun. Tales of Monkey Island Chapter 1, Launch of the Screaming Narwhal. That's a weird name. This was also Telltale. They had a lot of weird games in the beginning, right before things went upside down for them. The 5 chapters for the Telltale Tales from Monkey Island, or Tales of Monkey Island. Then we got Legasista. I barely played this a couple weeks ago, tried it for a bit. I like the art style, but it's a bit simplistic. Siren Blood Curse. This was like a 12 chapter game, I think, or 12 episode game, and I did not like it. I thought it was kind of bad gameplay wise. Siberia 1, Siberia 2, never played these. Always see them on sale, so I own them on basically everything. Eat Them. This I remember playing a bit. I just played the demo. Darkstalkers Resurrection, Carnivores HD, which is like a remake of those Carnivore PlayStation minis, or at least the Carnivores. 99 Vidas, Sonic Adventure 2. I didn't play too much of back when it came out, but recently I have played a bit more of it and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was playing it after I watched the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. Digger HD Demo. I don't know why that says demo, but I do own it. I remember buying it. Sometimes you needed to download these passkeys for the demos and then they would become the full game. Might have not downloaded the passkey. Fret Nice and the Namco on the bottom. Fret Nice. This was a very weird game. Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack. This game was very fun. This is from the people that made Guacamelee. All these games were awesome. Soldier X, Himmelsturmer. That's such a weird name. I'm probably saying that really badly. Completely wrong, probably. Then we got Soldier X2 Final Prototype. Amazing looking games. Shoot 'em ups. Final Fight Double Impact. I'm not really sure what this is. I'm guessing this is like a port of some Neo Geo game. Bionic Commando Rearmed and Bionic Commando Rearmed 2. I'm not a huge fan. I did enjoy that Bionic Commando that was released in 2008. That was sort of like a remake. That was like a third-person shooter type of game. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. This was a remake of the game on, I forget what console it was, but I really enjoyed it. Ethan Meteor Hunter. This game sucks. The cover makes it look a little cool. I actually tried it and very generic, very bad. Armageddon Riders. I always confuse this with Zombie Riders HD. This one's actually funner than that one. Blaze Rush. I don't remember what this is about. Blaze Rush. Another World 20th Anniversary Edition. I don't remember. Cube Director's Cut. I think this is a puzzle game. The Last Guy. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this game was very fun. You'd basically go into, I think you were the last human being alive, and you gotta find survivors, and then they basically follow you, and you grow your pack. Tokyo Jungle. I love Tokyo Jungle. Can we please get a remaster or a remake of this, Sony? This would be awesome. Tokyo Jungle is such a weird game. Fat Princess. again, back when Sony would actually try interesting things and release weird exclusives. The King of Fighters 13 Digital. This is the best looking King of Fighters game for sure, with the best art style. I would say is one of the best King of Fighters games. Real Steel. This says trial, but I actually do own it. This was such a weird game. I don't know if you guys seen that movie Real Steel, but Shank. I actually really enjoyed the Shank games back then. I do own them, I think, on PC. Go Puzzle. Don't know what this is, but I'm getting tired, guys. This is a lot of games. Then we got Plants vs. Zombies, which is an awesome game. One of PubCap's best games. It kind of fell off after 2, making it free to play on iPhone. Buzz Quiz Player. If you guys don't remember Buzz, then you guys don't remember this generation, because Buzz was everywhere. Feeding Frenzy 2. Shipwreck Showdown. Love Feeding Frenzy. Swarm. Like Pikmin, I would say. Order Up. So, Order Up was a PlayStation Move game that I think came out on Wii as well, where you would basically cook. I think it was a PlayStation Move game. Then we got Kick-Ass, another tie-in game to a movie, which I believe people thought was terrible, but I just remember this game being hard. Recently playing it, it's not as hard as I remember. Seen It Movie Night, a trivia game. Monopoly Streets? Yeah, it's Monopoly. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Core, but Core was awesome back in the day. It was like this digital download that had interviews and stories, like a digital magazine with I forget what that girl's name was, but basically I was able to re-download these 3 episodes here. The Ratchet and Clank Resistance and Skyrim, but we got the Core Ultimate Arcade 2012, which did come with some arcade games. Toy Story 3, one of the best tie-in games. Well, from what I hear, because I have not actually played it in its entirety myself. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. Love me some Pac-Man, and I love Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. Zombie Apocalypse Never Die Alone. Better than Zombie Apocalypse 1, but still way below Dead Nation. Castle of Illusion. Renegade Ops. Says trial, but I do remember buying this. Rocket Knight. I think people don't like this one as much. Shatter, which was one of PSN's most downloaded games, I think, at first. Then we got the classic Critter Crunch, which looks amazing. The art style looks amazing in this game, and it's a very fun game. One of the most unique games released for PlayStation 3, Rain, a game that we have not seen come back at all and is actually stuck on this system. It would be awesome to see this game come back. Retrograde, a sort of retro styled rhythm game where you're in a spaceship. Deep Black, third person shooter that's underwater. It doesn't work as well. It actually looks quite funny when you're fighting underwater. Daytona USA, a classic that I'm terrible at because I don't know how to play it. Ratchet Deadlocked, a very strange Ratchet game. Galaga Legions DX, I love this game. Always have loved Galaga. Topo and You, a very unique puzzle and adventure game. Hydrophobia Prophecy. Derek the Deathfin. I remember enjoying this a lot back when I had PlayStation Now and they actually had it on there. Choplifter HD. I really enjoy this one. Not the best game, but definitely a fun one. Payday the Heist. I love me Payday the Heist, the original. I love those maps. It's super hard because I would play it by myself, so I would get killed a lot. Call of Duty Classic, the original Call of Duty, I think. I haven't played too much of it. Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars. If you guys don't know, that was from the makers of Rocket League. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 and 2. People don't like these games as much. Big Sky Infinity. This one I remember was kind of cool. Black Knight Sword. Very weird sort of puppeteer looking game. Fuel Overdose. Knit Underground, which is a very artistic and I love that art style for this game. Hyper Void, haven't played too much of this one. I believe this one is also on PlayStation 4. Arateka, Scourge, Outbreak, Moon Diver, which I believe does have a second one now. Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. What did you guys think of that digital collection? My digital collection for PlayStation 3 is one of the biggest I've seen. I definitely do have a huge digital collection for most of my consoles because I do play a lot of video games. I try to play as much as I can every year. PlayStation 3 was a very important console for me during that generation. I would consider that generation to be the golden years of video games. There was just a lot of things coming out during that time, and that was the first real digital generation when it came to downloading games. Obviously, because before that, the PlayStation 2, you needed like some adapter to play online. This generation with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 was the generation that basically established online gaming and buying games online and downloading them. A lot of the games on this list are a lot of games that I love that have roots in my history with gaming. I'm just happy to talk about these games because a lot of these games, not a lot of people talk about them, because I feel like a lot of people are focused on what's new, what's hot, and I'm kind of just tired of what's new out there. I'm not sure whose collection is bigger out there, but you know, share your digital collections for everything. I am planning a PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 digital collection video as well. That one will be much longer because I do have about almost 1,000 games, maybe like 800 or so digital PlayStation 4/5 games. And then I will be sharing a Steam library with you guys, which is over 1,000 games already. I have not been playing on PC as long as console, but in that time that I have been playing on PC, I have already amassed a huge library of games that is bigger than my console library because of all the sales and everything that goes on with Steam and all the winter sales and all that. Let me know what you guys think of these videos. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for another video, guys.